Every generation has a moment where people realise they weren't living in the future they imagined. They were living in the calm before it. Now, not the storm, not the collapse, not the crisis, but the prelude, the quiet subtle pressure you only notice looking back. And right now, that's where we are. A world pretending that everything is stable, everything is controlled, everything is under management, while an entirely different financial reality is forming underneath the surface. And at the centre of that shift is a number so small you can screenshot it and forget it exists. And that's 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, otherwise known as 1 million satoshis. But here's the part that people aren't ready to hear. The panic won't start when Bitcoin skyrockets. It will start when the world realises they can't even afford this anymore. Now, I just quickly want to chuck this in here. This is a free course of mine and it's called Sovereign by Design. Now, if you want to come and check this out, what I'll do is link this down in the description below. See, panic never begins at the top. It begins at the bottom, when the easiest entry stops being easy, and people look at 0.01 worth of Bitcoin today like it's dust, a fraction, a maybe later, a rounding error on a chart they don't check. But in a finite system, the smallest pieces become the first pieces the world fights over. Now, the panic isn't Bitcoin hit an all-time high. The panic is, wait, how is 0.01 worth of Bitcoin suddenly expensive? And that's when the switch flips, because most people think they're competing with other retail buyers. But they're not. They're competing with institutions, funds, nations, balance sheets that dwarf entire markets. And the moment those players decide that even fractions are worth hoarding, 0.01 worth of Bitcoin stops being a casual decision and becomes a geopolitical asset. Now, that's when the panic begins. Not because Bitcoin is rising, but because the smallest unit that still feels attainable suddenly isn't attainable at all. See, think about every run on a scarce asset in history. Food, energy, land, housing, tech. The panic never begins at the premium tier, it begins at the entry level. The cheapest homes vanish first, the lowest priced stocks disappear, and the last affordable pieces get swallowed by everyone who waited too long and suddenly decides to move all at once. Now, it's not the rich who panic, it's the almost too late who panic. And with Bitcoin, the almost too late group is enormous. Billions of people, all competing for the smallest pieces of a network that cannot grow in supply. See, imagine walking into a store right before a storm hits. The premium items are still there, the expensive stuff is untouched, and nobody wants luxury in a crisis. Now, the shelves that empty first are the cheap items, the basics, the grab a few just in case. Now, 0.01 worth of Bitcoin is the cheap items on the shelf, the last accessible option in a world that doesn't understand just how quickly accessibility disappears when demand snaps. Now, the panic won't look like euphoria, it will look like shelves emptying faster than people expected. See, there's a moment coming where the world collectively realises, wait, this isn't an investment anymore, this is infrastructure. And when that happens, the rational thing will not be to buy a whole coin, it'll be to buy anything that still exists. And that means 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, 1 million satoshis, or 500,000 satoshis, even 100,000 satoshis, or whatever crumbs are still left on the table. Now, the panic begins when the crumbs become expensive, because that's when the world sees what they missed. Now, people imagine the future panic will look like excitement, charts, headlines, memes, mania, but it won't. It will look like regret. regret that 0.01 worth of Bitcoin was once available for the price of a weekend away. Regret that I'll buy later became I can't buy now, and regret that the easiest entry became the most fought over position in the span of a single cycle. Now the 0.01 worth of Bitcoin panic isn't coming because of hype, it's coming because of math. Now most people wait until the moment they feel a panic to take action, but by then the action they need is already out of reach. And you're here early enough to avoid the panic entirely by owning the piece everyone will chase later. And that piece, well, that piece is 0.01 worth of Bitcoin, again otherwise known as 1 million satoshis. So stack before the shelves empty, stay sovereign, stay early, and stay calm before their storm. Now, I do also quickly want to chuck this in here as well. If you have a Facebook account, well, I've started a brand new page. Now, what I'll do if you want to come and follow me is link this down in the description below. Now, if you've made it this far, and if you're not too sure what to watch next, well, I have this playlist for you just here, which you can go ahead and binge watch if you enjoy watching my content, or if you just want a quick single little video, you can watch this one just here, recommended to you by YouTube.